In this presentation, we are going to continue our discussion of how to identify tissues, particularly connective tissues, using yes and no questions. Connective tissue is the most common tissue seen in the body. It connects the various components of the body. Blood, bone, tendons, ligaments, cartilage, and adipose or fat are all connective tissues. Since these tissues connect other tissues and they are found sandwiched between these tissues, they do not have a free surface. So our first question is, does the tissue have a free surface? If the answer is yes, then this is an epithelial tissue, and you will need to refer to my other presentation on identifying epithelial tissues. If the answer is no, then this tissue could either be muscle, nervous, or connective tissue. Our next question is, does this tissue consist of cells and fibers suspended in a matrix? The matrix is the extracellular, non-living component of connective tissue. The matrix of the tissue is produced by the cells in the tissue. The matrix is a defining characteristic of connective tissues and our basis of identification. If the answer is no, then this tissue is either muscle or nervous tissue. These tissues will be addressed in a separate presentation. If the answer is yes, then this is a connective tissue. So before we go on to identifying connective tissues, let's talk for a few minutes about what connective tissues do and where connective tissues are found. We have already said connective tissues connect parts of the body. Blood, for example, serves to connect all parts of the body. Ligaments connect bones to bones. Tendons connect muscles to bones. Connective tissue is found everywhere. Adipose tissue or fat is found in the hypodermis and around organs where it serves to insulate and protect the body. Additionally, fat serves as an energy storage form. Some tissues like adipose have relatively little matrix, and in others, like blood, the matrix is a predominant component. The matrix ground substance is composed of fluids, proteins, fibers, and other molecules and varies from being fluid, like plasma, to being solid, like bone. We identify connective tissues by the matrix, cells, and fibers. Connective tissues themselves are grouped into the following categories: cartilage, blood, bone, and connective tissues proper, which includes the dense and loose connective tissues. So, when we're talking about matrix, one of the questions we can ask is the matrix liquid? If so, then this tissue is blood. Plasma is the matrix. In these two slides, you see the matrix and the red and white blood cells found in the blood. The small bluish dots are the platelets. If the matrix is not liquid, then the tissue could be bone, cartilage, dense connective, or loose connective tissues. Our next question is the matrix solid? If the answer to that is yes, then you are looking at bone or osseous tissue. The matrix is composed of apatite. The cells that form the bony matrix are called osteocytes. These cells are found in small cavities in the bone called lacuna. The osteon or bullseye structure is composed of concentric layers of bone called lamellae, produced by the osteocytes. Cells embedded in the lamellae communicate through extracellular extensions in the canaliculi. The letter A is the central or Haversian canal, B arrows are pointing to the lacunae, and C are the squiggly lines of the canaliculi. If the answer is no, then the tissue is either cartilage, loose, or dense connective tissue. To differentiate between these, we're going to ask the question, are the cells located in a lacuna or a well-defined space in the matrix? If the answer is yes, then the tissue is cartilage. There are three types of cartilage: hyaline, elastic, and fibrocartilage. They differ in the amounts and types of fibers found in the tissue. Hyaline cartilage is found at the ends of long bones and in the nasal septum of the nose. The matrix contains a network of very fine collagen fibers. The matrix has a smooth, even appearance, and the lacuna and chondrocytes within them are randomly scattered through the matrix. Elastic cartilage is found in the ears and epiglottis. It contains a lot of darkly staining elastic fibers. Elastic cartilage bends and recoils easily without breaking. Fibrocartilage is much tougher and more brittle stuff. It contains thicker, more visible collagen fibers. Fibrocartilage is found in the intervertebral disc, menisci of the knee, and the pubic symphysis. The more rigid matrix confines the formation of the lacuna. Cells appear like peas in a pod, a much more regular appearance than with other cartilages. If the tissue lacks lacuna, then the tissue is either loose or dense connective tissue. To distinguish between these two, we need to ask, are there a lot of fibers present in the tissue? If the answer is yes, then the tissue is probably dense regular, dense irregular, or dense elastic connective tissue. Dense regular connective tissue is composed of tightly packed, well-organized collagen fibers. Fibroblasts that produce the collagen are visible, squeezed between the fibers. Dense regular connective tissue is found in tendons, ligaments, and the cornea of the eye. Tissue is typically strong and resilient in one direction. Dense elastic tissue contains a lot of elastic fibers. This tissue is found in elastic arteries, bronchioles, and in some ligaments. I don't have an image of dense irregular handy. This tissue is common in the fibrous joint capsules, submucosa, and skin. If there are not a large number of fibers present, then the tissue is either areolar, adipose, or reticular tissue. The matrix of areolar tissue has a jelly-like consistency. The tissue is found under epithelial tissues. The cells found in this tissue include fibroblasts, mast cells, macrophages. These cells are the first line of defense. The collagen fibers, or white fibers, are seen here as thick pink lines. Elastic or yellow fibers are the finer black lines. Adipose or fat has little matrix. The tissue is found everywhere. The individual cells are called adipocytes. The arrow indicates the cell nucleus. Reticular tissue contains a mesh network of reticular fibers to which other cells attach. Reticular tissue is common in lymph nodes, the liver, spleen, and the bone marrow. This concludes our discussion of the connective tissues.